Sports Orbit. We make the world go round. Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello and welcome to Sports Orbit right here under the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Olawale Ayeni and I'll be your host for today. With me in the studio is my regular, sports analyst right here, Alpha. Alpha, how are you doing today?
Nice to be here.
Of course, over the weekend we saw a whole lot of action that actually went down where we actually get to see Bayelsa United and Bayelsa Queen as they emerge as the Aiteo Cup champions, 2021 champions. Also, Messi is set to actually sign for PSG at this point in time. Lukaku also into the news. He's set to have a medical in Italy ahead of his move to Chelsea later this month. So all these and many more will be coming your way in this particular edition of Sport Orbit. So we'll go straight to our first topic, which is on Bayelsa United and Bayelsa Queen. They're both match champions of the 2021 Aiteo Cup. Champions in that particular one. The game was actually decided on Sunday at the Samuel Bumudia Stadium in Benin City. Alpha, you saw that one. Bayelsa, Queens defeated, Robo Queens in the first match 4-2 before Bayelsa United actually, shocked, Nasarawa United. In the penalties, that game ended, 2-2 after regulation time. Then in the penalty shootout, Bayelsa United are champions.
Interesting one for both teams from Bayelsa State. So it just goes to show that the Bayelsa State government has put some necessary investment to to have two teams emerge as champions of the Aiteo Cup, both male and female. So good one for them, and I actually expected Nasarawa United to win that one.
I was going there. What really happened to Nasarawa United? Because even on paper they were like the favorites,
considering even their league form, in just concluded leagues, I really thought they were going to, really step up their game and give Bayelsa United a run for their money. But unfortunately, yes, it was a close game. They had to settle for penalties before a winner emerged. But I actually expected Nasarawa United to emerge winners. But congratulations to Bayelsa United. So this means that they will be representing Nigeria at the CAF Confederations Cup. So a chance to make an impression on the tournament, and we hope that even as they go onto the continent, it won't be the same story of Nigerian teams doing well in the local league, and once they get to the continent, especially that problem has persisted with Nigerian clubs, go to the continent and it becomes a different story. So I really hope that Bayelsa United will go all out and represent Nigeria well at the continent.
At this point in time, there have been, feelers reports that Bayelsa United may not actually, compete in the Confederation Cup due to the fact that they were not registered by the NFF, and that's some reports actually came out to say yes, they're not registered, but they can still be, registered, to participate in the CAF Confederation Cup. At this point in time, is there any hope of, Bayelsa United?
But first of all, but these are the things we keep saying. What led to them not being registered by the NFF? Was it some sort of administrative lapse, or what really went wrong? Because now they are the cup champions. So imagine not having your cup champions represent you in an international competition. So I think it's something the NFF should really, quickly try and rectify.
Of course, Bayelsa United has been actually doing well because we saw them, both their male and their female team, they actually emerged, champions in the Aiteo Cup, final. Those are impressive. Bayelsa United are now the second team from the second tier to win the FA Cup after the defunct Dolphins Football Club of Port Harcourt climbed the title in 2011. They will now compete in the CAF Confederation Cup next season. Now, moving on away from Bayelsa United at this point in time, we head straight to the news coming from the sports ministry at this point in time, where they are saying ahead of the Commonwealth Games 2022, they're saying Team Nigeria assured of early preparation. We saw what happened during they just completed two games where it was not rosy for Team Nigeria even before they actually left the shore of the country to compete. Also, you saw another story where they actually get to Tokyo and they campaign throughout the games, and now they're saying they're going to work everything very well to ensure that we have a good outing at the Commonwealth Games. Are you certain that they can actually not do that?
We like talking a lot, but when it comes to put this talk into action, it becomes a different ball game altogether. Going into the Olympics, there are plenty of talk of preparations going on well and all of that, but in Tokyo, we all see what happened, from on the part of the administrators, how the athletes laid series of complaints, even went out on in the games village to even protest. So I really hope that this time around, when they mean early preparation, it won't be 6 months to the Olympics. It should be. I mean, the Commonwealth Games is roughly like a year. So this is the time to start preparing for Commonwealth Games, and not when it's like 6 months to the games. Then we start running helter skelter to put things in order to perfect preparations. If we continue that way, I'm sorry to say that we'll continue, not achieving much when we go to this international competition. So let's take the Ministry of Sport word for it and hope that they put their house in order, put everything necessary to ensure that these teams prepare early enough to
Of course, what I'm saying, early preparation is actually key for success, because if we don't get to prepare early, there's no going to be any way for we to actually get to win, medals in this in the upcoming Commonwealth Games. Because even the last outing at Gold Coast 2018, we saw how Team Nigeria actually performed brilliantly. The likes of Buayo, Adekuroye, the likes of Toby Amuso, the likes of Ase Brumer, even Blessing Okagbari, all got gold medal in that particular competition. But we just hope that the sports ministry and will actually keep to their words and to ensure that the athletes get the necessary assistance to aid them prepared ahead of the Commonwealth Games. So at this point in time, we'll move all the way from the sports ministry, head straight to Iheanacho. At this point in time, he's the rave of the moment after he actually scored that particular goal that ensured that Leicester City emerged winners of this year Community Shield. We know that the Community Shield is the curtain raiser for the start of the season. At this point in time, he's saying he's not in rivalry with Jamie Vardy and with some players in Leicester City. But at this point in time, we saw that he was a substitute. He came, from the bench, and he actually scored that penalty at the tail end of the match. But he's coming out to say at this point in time he's not at a rivalry point with Jamie Vardy and the rest of the player. Looking at even Daka also in Leicester City.
Yeah, I mean, why should there be rivalry between him and Vardy? They are expected to be teammates, help each other on the pitch. But good performance from him anyway. There's nothing as sweet as coming on from the bench and getting the goal for your team when it mattered most in the 89th minute. So he clearly has picked up from where he left off last season. He had a fine run for Leicester City last season, up to leading up to the FA Cup triumph over Chelsea. So I really expect that this season will also be the season where he makes a solid impact. So it's for him to just continue in the rich vein of form that he's been enjoying, over the last season and coming into this season. So I really expect the Leicester to do big things. Then for Man City, of course, I actually tipped them to win in that one, but you could excuse them not starting some of their regular, players in that one. So, but whatever it is, I mean, it's still Man City. There are still some members of the first team in that team. There was Ruben Diaz, was in that team, and Gundogan was there. You know,
Even
so
in each star boy that they just
yeah,
signed.
exactly.
Jack
Grealish,
Grealish.
yes, he came on, played for about 25 minutes. There was a Riyad Mahrez in that one, so no excuse at all for Pep Guardiola and his boys. So I really know that going into this season, it's going to be a really competitive one. You know, judging by the way a lot of teams have, sort of boosted their squad. So I really expect Leicester also to, really do big things.
Of course, looking at Iheanacho last season for Leicester City, he actually made a 25 appearance in the league and he scored 12 goals. Are we going to see him scoring more than 12 goals this season?
I should think so. Like I said, if he goes, a step further, step up his game better than he did last season, he should be able to at least do another double figures, maybe in the region of between 15 to 18 goals this time around. I hope so. So staying fit is another important thing. If he can stay fit and continue playing with the kind of form we've seen him perform with in last season and even this season with what he played on Saturday, I expect him to his goal return to even be better this coming season.
Of course, I've heard it from Alpha Iheanacho. You need to be top of your game at this point in time. You need to ensure that you train hard, you prepare hard for the start of the season. Also, not forgetting our man in that particular club, talking about Wilfred Didi, has been doing the magic for Leicester City in the middle of the park, and we are ensured that he's going to be teaming up with Iheanacho when the season starts this weekend. So we keep an eye on Kelechi Iheanacho so that he gets to make waves in the English Premiership. Away from Kelechi Iheanacho, we head to Tokyo at this point in time, where the Tokyo count cost of 15 billion. Pandemic Olympic gamble, and this, particular so how the Tokyo Olympic went down, and officials are saying a whopping $15 billion actually went down on the Tokyo Olympics.
Absolutely. Now you see one of the reasons why it's not every country that can organize an event as massive as the Olympic because of the financial involvement that it is usually required to host this kind of competition. So it was really a gamble. At a point, it looked like the Olympics was not even going to be staged at all due to the pandemic and all of that. But that's why you see that the authorities in Tokyo ensured that, in spite of several postponements, they still ensured that the games held. Because if the games had not held, I mean, we can only imagine the kind of losses that would have been incurred. Because after making this kind of investment to put up this kind of a showpiece, it's only right that you should hold the event and see if you can even recoup some of what you spent. A lot of times when countries host this kind of games, they always expect some sort of profit, even more than they spent. So but for Tokyo, we are yet to see the revenue that was generated so far to actually say if it was even worth it in the end.
Just to cut you short, do we have this kind of amount of money to host the Olympic Games
in Nigeria? No, we can't. Absolutely. I mean, it's not a matter of maybe or maybe not. Nigeria cannot stage the Olympic Games.
We have hosted the
that's the All Africa Games.
203 in Abuja here.
Yes.
You don't think that we have the facilities to host the Olympic Games?
No, facility-wise, we don't. Where are we going to use? Apart from
National Stadium.
And where else?
Other centers, they might spread it across the country.
Yes, but to host this kind of facilities, this kind of competition, you need to upgrade your facilities to a certain standard. I mean, the International Olympic Committee has a certain standard of the facilities they want. Your facilities have to be up to,
of course,
top notch for you to even be given a look in. So for now, I don't think Nigeria has this kind of funds to bankroll this kind of this a games as massive as the Olympics. So let's not kid ourselves. For now, let's forget about hosting the Olympics, and rather, in fact, let's use this fund to put to rather invest more in our sports, upgrade our facilities, develop our athletes so that we can keep performing better at the Olympics. A time will definitely come someday when we'll be able to host the Olympics. But for now, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
For now, Alpha is saying I don't not get to see that happen where Nigeria will actually host the Olympic Games at this point in time due to the fact that facility-wise we're not there yet. We need top-notch facilities to ensure that we get to host a game of that huge of magnitude because it will cut across all the countries in the world. We are looking at about 204 countries in that for that particular game because that was the same number that actually went for the Tokyo Olympic Games. But at this point in time, we'll just take a break from the Olympic Games. We head straight to the news coming from the Camp Nou at this point in time where Sergio Aguero has been ruled out for 10 weeks for Barcelona. You know that the massive blow because we know that the league will be starting this weekend. At this point in time, he's injured, he's out for 10 weeks. Means he's out for about 2 months and 2 weeks. It's going to be a massive blow.
Massive blow. I mean, one will expect that with the imminent departure of their talisman Messi from the Camp Nou, people like Aguero will step into, not exactly fill up his shoes, but at least give the Camp Nou faithful something to cheer about. But that is looking very unlikely at this point in time with this injury. And Aguero has been injury prone over the years. I think it's one thing that has really blighted his career over the years, especially
after staying.
Exactly. Exactly. So for 10 weeks, they'll miss him. He'll be out for 2 months. So. But I believe Barca has enough firepower on the bench. I mean, they still have the likes of Dembele, although another injury-prone player. But I hope if he stays fit,
Dembele is not even a top 9 striker.
He's more of a winger.
He actually
but what will happen is with the loss of Aguero was supposed to be like the pivot, striking. But now with his absence, they'll sort of rejig their formation up front. Maybe a Griezmann playing through the middle, Dembele on the right, for instance. So and maybe Fati on the left. So I think they'll just need to tweak their formation to accommodate the players they have at their disposal.
Of course, viewers, you can send your comments on all our trending, sports story that we have for you today. Looking at the Olympics, looking at Bayelsa United and Bayelsa Queen, imagine champions of the Aiteo Cup. Looking at Messi getting to leave Barcelona, heading straight to PSG, according to some report. But for now, we'll go for a short break. And when we come back, it's still a sports orbit. Don't go nowhere.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome from that short break. It's still Sports Orbit right here on the Leadership Podcast studio. We are actually, talking about all the trending, sport news across the world of sport at this point in time. It has been, the Olympic Games all over at this point in time, and we see certain United States of America, getting to retain their Olympic title for the second time ruling at this point in time. We see them actually are getting to leapfrog, China at the end at the last day of the Olympics. We saw, the U.S. team actually finished at the Olympic Games with about 38 gold medal, while China actually they finished with 36 gold medal. Looking at both sides, it was a photo finish fight to the
Absolutely.
end. It went down to the
Yes.
wire.
Since from the beginning, China was, took an early lead and led all the way till the last day. So at a point, it was looking like China was the clear runaway leaders, but that was not to be. Luckily for Team USA, they had like three finals to play on the last day, and lo and behold, they won all of those finals and clinched gold in those ones. And that enabled them to leapfrog China in the number of gold medals won. So good one to Team USA, but that really shows the growth, the improvement of the Chinese team over the years, because a couple of years back, you could hardly see China, dragging for the top two.
Of course.
So I mean, this actually sets the tone again for France 2024. I'm sure the Chinese will be kicking themselves at this time, wondering where they got it wrong after leading all through, then only just to let go of that lead, on the final day. So I think in 2024 the battle will continue, but I think this time around the Chinese want to do everything possible to ensure that they come up winners in that one.
But looking at the last Olympic in Rio, US emerged champions with 46, gold. But this year it was 38 gold. Does that says that well about the United States of America sport? Is it going down or is it improving?
You won't really say it's going down per se, they always fluctuate here and there. But if you looked at the Olympics generally, the history of the Olympics, the US has always finished in the top five. So these big sporting powers always have a way of, pushing themselves to the limit. Sometimes you come first, sometimes second, but the winners of the Olympics still come from the circle of those very developed countries. So I really don't see it as a downgrade on their sport. Some teams where they were expected to win, who their traditional sports where they are short of a gold medal, they ended up like, in the female football, for instance, they ended up, coming out with the bronze medal. Same for some certain track events where the Jamaicans, came out tops in that one.
Even the 100 meters women,
absolutely.
100 meters men's.
Yeah, so it's not a downgrade, but I think maybe some other people, just stepped up this time around, and but overall they still emerged overall winners. So that's still a good one for them.
Just to let you know that Team Nigeria actually finished the 74th position, 8th position in Africa. Kenya were the one that actually topped the African rankings in the Olympics. So we away from the Olympics at this point in time. We return back to Camp Nou, where Tearful Messi actually beat Barcelona goodbye. You saw that video actually on Sunday where Messi was literally he was actually crying. Even the players, the officials were actually crying over his exit in that particular one. At this point in time, just so sad for Messi. Let's get your take on Messi's exit.
Well, will I call it a sad one? Not really. If we recall, this was the same player who last season was actually forcing a move out of the Camp Nou. So suddenly those issues were resolved, and in fact, when he even tried to move last year, the plan was that he was going to stay for 1 more year and he'll be allowed to go. But somehow along the line, his contract was about in the process of being extended, but there's a certain threshold which the Barcelona, the Camp Nou hierarchy couldn't go beyond because of some financial regulations in the La Liga. So that deal couldn't work out.
But looking at it very well, Messi agreed for a pay cut, but the other players didn't actually agree for a pay cut. So don't you think it was actually a setup?
No, I wouldn't call it a setup. I mean, already he was collecting already. Astronomical amounts already. So even with the pay cuts, probably when he took the pay cut, he was at the same level with some of the players who you were even asking to take a pay cut. I mean, it was a personal decision. It's not something that you force it on a player. A player signs a contract that this is what I'll be earning. So asking a player to take a pay cut is actually a matter of a personal decision. So you can't really force a player to take a pay cut. So I wouldn't want to see it as a setup.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, Messi actually getting to beat Barcelona fairly at this point in time. Just so sad, we can see him crying. Rumors actually are happy that he might just be heading to a PSG at this point in time. But I will keep a tab on Messi and where else is actually going to, and we ensure that we will bring you those actually news as the keep coming. But before we go, let's quickly tell you that a certain Lukaku is set to undergo Chelsea medical in that particular one. The medical is expected to be in Italy before his move around 97 million pounds. Really a good deal for Chelsea because as it is now, Lukaku set for a return to the Blues.
Well, until he gets to play, we can't really say for now. I mean, this is the same player who they let go about 10 years ago. No doubt he's been in fine vein of form in Italy and all of that. But let's hope that this reunion will work out. I mean, he's coming from different league. Don't forget that the English league is not like the Italian league. So let's wait and see if he'll be able to, match, his exploits in Italy on his second return back to the bridge.
Of course, Lukaku left Chelsea for Everton. He went to Manchester United before, leaving England for Italy at this point in time for Inter Milan, and now he's set to return to Chelsea. Let's get your reaction. Will he be a good player for Chelsea when he eventually join the Blues? You can actually get to send your comment and we get to read them on air. But at this point, we want to say thank you, for joining us on the show today. Alpha, it's been great, talking sports with you.
Pleasure, always a pleasure.
Of course, we want to actually thank our sponsors, talking about Nimasa, for supporting the show. They are saying Nimasa is steering the maritime industry to a better future. On this point, I want to say thank you for staying with us. We return at same time tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.